right, welcome to Shop Talk. The Shop Talk area is brought to you by Ink Kitchen, which is a media conglomerate with, I know what conglomerate means. A media empire. That's my wife, Pam, who is the media chief of staff. Anyway, we are real decorators. It's Pam there with the camera, and Tom and I run shops and do this every day. And so we've changed the shop talks from what they used to be to something more where people that are doing this work every day, all day, we brought those in instead of professional speakers or gurus. We have regular folks like you, but that are, something that they know in an advanced form. So we got great sponsors. The Impression Show has really been supportive of us doing this switch, and they want to bring more interesting content to these things. And if something you don't see on our list that you want to see next year or next show you go to, talk to Tom or I about it. We'll try to get people here. I want to thank Haynes, Champion Alternative, and Hirsch. And then we have a whole list of other sponsors, one of which is SanMar. This is Jason Murphy. Jason used to be the national sales manager for stalls, transfers. He's out there every day with a team of people at SanMar Decorator Relations, and they actually care about how their shirts are decorated. What a concept, because a lot of people sure seem not to, because that makes my life miserable. Anyway, Jason knows a lot about transfers, and he's kind of unbiased. Rather than have a transfer company come, I decided to have him kind of tell you what's up. I've been certainly enlightened in the past year or so that transfers are a viable option. It's not Care Bears and Farrah Fawcett anymore. It's something else. So Jason Murphy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tom and Rick. So just to reiterate what these guys are doing. So at SanMar, we have this team called Decorator Relations. And Tom and Rick are both one of our experts that we go to. So if there's something I can't solve, one of these two are usually getting a phone call. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you. It's been a huge, huge help for us. So heat transfers today, I can honestly tell you that is the fastest growing trend that we see in fashion decorating across the U.S. And we're seeing it everywhere from retail. We see it in sports. We're going to see it in the promotional products industry. And I know you and I were talking about what's trending, right? What's new, what's out in the marketplace. And I can tell you the one thing you're going to see is texture. Everybody wants thick transfers. They want something silicone. They want something PVC. They want something that's glitter. They want something that's printable glitter. It's just so off the wall what they're looking for today. But that is being driven by your retail brands. All right, so you've got people out there like New Era and North Face that all their logos are done with a high-density silicone or some type of high-density print. So what we're trying to do is just get everybody in the marketplace to know heat transfer is a total viable option. And there's a lot of ways today to do it, whether you're buying them already done from one number of companies that do it as a service, or you actually buy the equipment and you do it yourself. And if there's anything I can tell everybody here, if you don't do heat transfer today, you should be considering it. It's an easy addition. It's not expensive to get into. And if you, like I said, if you don't want to make your own, you buy them from a number of services that do it for you. So definitely want to do that. So I did go and pillage some booths, just so you know. So thank you to my friends, and some of them are here. Stalls is here, and I pillaged your booth, sorry. And a couple other ones. So one of the ones I want to talk about is this is a new product from, it's actually Caesar North America. And I got this from the Wellington House booth, so thanks to the Wellington boys. It is a chalkboard material, right? All right, so think about this. I'll pass this around, you guys can see it. So it's a chalkboard material. You've got your customers. They know something new, right? And what we did at the PPI Expo we were just at is we did 600 plus
No
bags.
erasers on that, please. Leave the chalk on there.
Yeah. So 600 plus bags that were actually for a style network that we did, and we provided everybody a bag that had this cool area they could ride on, and it said B. B what? Right? We gave them a really cool avenue to say what they're happy about, what's their cause. These people, they were riding all over it, and they took it all over the show. And then everybody's like, wow, you know what? I could really do that as an apron, and I could have the specials written for my customers at a restaurant. We can do it at a bag. You write Timmy's name on it, who's going to school. There's so many cool ways you can do that. So that's just one I wanted to pass around and see. It's really unique.
And I can say from trying to print chalkboard ink, which there is chalkboard ink, that's way easier.
Yeah, totally. All right, so the next thing, again, talking about texture. So everybody remembers flock, right? We go back to the 70s, the little numbers you put on the back of your soccer jersey. For your screen printers out there, who likes doing flock? Nobody?
Likes doing flock?
Yeah.
No.
Nobody? No. Nobody likes to have their machines covered in little fuzz. So heat transfer flock is a simple product to work with. You can cut your own. You can buy them pre-cut. There's manufacturers that do them in a 3D kind of look. You've got, Fiberlock, World Emblem, a number of places that do a really cool embroidery background. And then it's got the flock, and it's full high detail. So you can order those and have those done as well. So that is another really cool option. This is a CAD cut material, so that was done on a cutter. Right, and then sticking with our high density, and we talked a little bit about silicone, right? So we're seeing a lot of silicone in the marketplace. Screen printers I know can do silicone, and it's really nice. I actually really like silicone. This one I got to give a little shout out because they're the only ones in the market who have it. So Stahl's manufactures the first CAD cut silicone material. And it's a really super material. The one cool thing that I can tell you I love about this, it blocks all dye migration. Nothing goes through this, right? I picked yes, we have one too that bleeds really bad, and it was our hex camo, and I put it on there, and I put white on it just to see, right? And like silicone ink, when you apply it, you're going, oh my gosh, and then it just started getting whiter and whiter and whiter. So this is a really cool option, and what I like about it is it has some detail to it and some depth. It's not just a flat print. So I'm gonna pass this around, you can see that. And now we're gonna go with shiny. Foil is still hot, right? Foil is super hot. And this can be done screen print.
You know what I say, right? Crows and people like shiny things.
So this particular one is a CAD cut product. You do it with a cutter. You can screen print it. You can buy adhesive, right? That you can cut on a cutter and turn around and heat apply and then put the foil on top. So this is another one that's, again, fashion. How many times have you had a customer come to you and say, oh, I saw this in Macy's and I want you to make it just like that, right? And then what do? We'll go figure this out. So again, a heat transfer material. All right, a couple of the last ones that I want to talk about. Glitter. Okay, so stones were really popular for a while, the rhinestones, and I think they might have died. I think they're gone, right? I'm going to keep my fingers crossed.
They're still shiny.
They're still shiny. I have 3 girls at home, and I had rhinestones everywhere. Now, I have 3 teenage and older girls at home, and glitter is everywhere, okay? So with heat transfer, so the nice thing about heat transfer is this glitter, it doesn't come off, right? So if you think of the old school glitter, you would print it, and you'd have the glitter
a shiny shop
everywhere, right? So these here, again, that's a CAD cut material on this one, and this is actually new in the industry, and this is a printable glitter, right? So those of you who have a print and cut system, this can be done on a solvent printer, and it just gives you a really unique look, because there for a while you were stuck with 1 color, maybe 2, 3 max when you're doing heat transfer. It's just getting a little intense, but this here is super. Does anybody have print and cut systems? Yeah, super easy. So I'll pass those around there. Sorry, you get them first. All right. Now the last one that I want to pass around, actually I have it here on a bag so you can see it. This is a 3D molded transfer, okay? These are really hot. You're gonna see these on, let's see, most popular, World Series. On the sleeve of the jersey of the players, 3D transfers, right? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. There are a number of places that manufacture these. This one here is a flex style from Stahl's. You've got Pen Emblem. You've got Fiberlock. Everybody's got a version of it. These are nice, okay, and not difficult to apply. Now, for those of you who are looking at heat transfer technology, one thing I would recommend to all of you, is head over and find a Hottronics booth, the Stalls booth, the Transfer Express booth, the Wellington House booth, all these people who carry Hottronics machines, and look at their underheat machine. Okay, so
George Knight, I think, has one too.
Yeah, Geo Knight has one. I think that they just brought that back out. Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the cool things with that is all these, you need to get the heat through it to the adhesive, right? These thicker transfers, it takes a little more time to get it through. You do run the risk of scorching something. So all these folks they're finally coming around, and they make something that heats from the bottom up. If we scorch the inside of the shirt, who cares? Nobody knows. Nobody's going to see it except for us, right? So that's okay. So underheating elements, definitely go around and check those out.
Actually, and the poor man's version is to put the heat on enough so it tacks in place, and then turn it inside out, and then hit it with the transfer machine. But you're way better off with the bottom unit. Yeah, but if you can't do it, then you don't have the bottom unit. That's the way to do it.
Yep, and Rick and I, we just recently consulted on this. And you did get the underheating elements, right?
We got the underheating elements, and we had to start before we got them, and we did the inside out.
But it worked.
It works.
Excellent. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today as far as my side. Anything else?
Any questions about transfers or what? I mean, I think, those were mostly the ones with texture or thicker. The other ones to check out, I know F&M Expressions has vintage transfers.
Oh, yeah.
And I just as a test, last year at the show, I had one of those on a shirt, and I brought it around, and I asked people what they thought of the print.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, that print's pretty good. It's nice and soft. It's a lot of detail. It's great. It was a transfer.
Yep.
So I think that was very revealing. And I think if you have a small shop, you would be better off buying transfers than setting up a dark room and
for sure.
A hand press and ink and all that stuff. You'd be better off selling and buying a bunch of vintage transfers. I think they go to 3 colors.
Oh, yeah.
So all simple stuff. They'll do small quantities. They're all perfect.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry what the humidity is that day. The temperature that you set and the time will always work.
Yep.
So that's another option, I would say. I would go around to almost all the transfer companies. Everybody has something unique.
Oh, true.
And that's what everybody wants.
Another good example, if you look around the industry, the digital transfers you can get now. Right, full color digital transfers that will almost stick to anything. It's pretty incredible the adhesives they have. I know Transfer Express just came up with the AquaTrue, which is a water-based, dye-blocking, incredible transfer, super soft, right? So you've got the transfer manufacturers are now trying to lead the way. And they're trying really hard to get stuff to the marketplace. So I would recommend reach out to the manufacturers that you deal with and find out what's new. Drive them to what you need.
Yeah, I think the other thing that there is a lot of now are dye migration issue. We just heard a talk a minute ago about dye migration. There's a lot of transfers now that'll go at a lower temperature,
right,
to avoid the scorching or the dye migration issues.
I would agree that as much as heat is super important in screen printing, it's the same in transfers. Look to your transfer manufacturers that are bringing temperatures down. When you're looking at a polyester in general, polyesters usually start gassing off again at about 320 degrees. Right, so that is a natural spot that you could have dye migration if it's not dyed properly, right? And when you're looking at scorching, and from screen printing, you get over 320 degrees, I mean, it's rough. You got to really work with your machines to get them not to scorch. So that's something else that, you keep everything super low, as low as you can.
Other questions? I'll put a pitch in to get a washing machine too, because people are always like, what testing devices do you have in your shop? I say start with a washing machine.
Oh, for
Either that
sure.
or bring it home, because nothing tests like washing it.
Oh,
you can have the heat probe, you can have a pyrometer, you can have a donut probe, you can have heat tapes, you can stretch it, you can do whatever you want, but when you wash it, does it come off?
Yeah, and I can say some of the biggest shops I've been in now are adding in washing machines, right? And it's surprising that a lot of them are adding in what's called a melee, right? They're made to mimic like 50 washings in 5. Right, and they're a little more expensive, but when you're running through tons and tons of apparel and transfers and prints, it's good to know if it's going to make it or not.
Other questions? Jason will be around for a couple minutes if you have if you're shy type and don't want to make a public question. He won't make fun of you too much.
Nope.
And anyway, how about a round of applause for our pal Jason?
Thank you. Thank you.